Welcome back to the Tu-Vie podcast, your TV movie entertainment needs podcast. I'm your host, James, and I'm going to be talking about the CinemaCon 2024. We're going to be going over a lot of great detail going on from Monday to Thursday. So, with that being said, let's get into it. CinemaCon 2024 was a pretty big year as we have some pretty big movies coming out very, very soon. The event took place as normally in Las Vegas. And for those who may not know, CinemaCon is basically when these big productions, these movie productions and theater companies come together. They showcase the new movies that are coming out, give exclusive, behind the scenes stuff, or even some exclusive trailers and footage that the public aren't going to be getting for a long time. And this is also ranging from merchandise like popcorn buckets and everything in between you would see like in the stands in theaters and the actual movie itself. Beginning on Monday, April 8th, I believe is what it was, but we're just going to be going by the weekday. So Monday is where the actual event started. It was a very small kind of things that weren't really movie related, like production wise, weren't really being showcased that day. They had small things like they announced a lot of the Trailblazer Awards, which is the awards that were given at CinemaCon for various actors and producers, all these different people that are involved in the movie industry. And they also, I think the Fall Guy had its premiere that day, later that night. They had some people go check out the movie before its release. They had some fun stuff there and some free merchandise. One of the people actually, I believe, that got an award for the Trailblazer Award was Gina Davis herself. But then we get to the real good stuff that happened on Tuesday. So Tuesday was the Warner Brothers and Crunchyroll presentation. So I did catch a lot of those stuff for the Crunchyroll thing, but for Warner Brothers, a lot of stuff that came out, you probably already seen from either the news or YouTube has already been posted out. I did do our Joker breakdown, which you guys can go check out now. We reviewed the new trailer. Looks really, really good. A lot of stuff that was posted from Warner Brothers was stuff that I didn't expect to actually get some updates with, nor did I even know they were going into production. Stuff like the Christopher Reeve story, which is going to be a documentary in September, showcasing never-before-seen footage of interviews and that showcases the life of Christopher Reeve. So it's going to be going over, of course, his time as Superman and then his horrible accident and his life afterwards. And it's going to be just showcasing, the life of Christopher Reeves. And I'm actually super excited about this, as Christopher Reeves movies are, a nostalgic favorite for me for the Superman movies, and that he was an icon for the longest time too. And so it'd be great to actually see that in theaters. One thing we got a huge update with is Bong Joon-ho's new movie, Mickey 17. Mickey 17, which is based on the book Mickey 7. We've talked about it a few times here on the podcast, but the reason why it's called Mickey 17 is because Bong Joon-ho found a way to unalive Robert Pattinson 10 more times. And in case you guys aren't aware what the story is about, it's about a man who has cloned himself multiple times after going on various different missions that don't necessarily end with him being alive. And the reason why Bong Joon-ho took this whole entire story was because he found it to be very strange. He found a strange way into this movie, and he found Robert Pattinson had this crazy look into his eyes, and he wanted to cast him, and he had just such a fun time in this movie. Mickey 17 is going to be a sci-fi comedy movie, so it's going to be very interesting seeing Bong Joon-ho do a sci-fi comedy after he has done so many great movies that feel grounded and gritty. But besides Okja, that's not that gritty. But the thing is, I'm very excited to see him do sci-fi. I love sci-fi. It's one of my favorite genres, and I'm super excited. Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17 is coming out January 31st of next year. We also got a little bit of more Beetlejuice talk, as Beetlejuice is coming into theaters very, very soon. Catherine O'Hara and Michael Keaton were there talking to the crowd, talking to the fact that Burton is passionate about this and there's no CGI in the movie, just talking so much praise about this movie. I am so excited for it. We're also going to do a little Beetlejuice review in our Beetlejuice review trailer, so check it out now. The Crow remake is delayed to August 23rd. I firstly want to say Crow trailer looked awesome. I know it's not going to do a dime to I think it was Brandon Lee that was the actor, but the original Crow movie is so good. But I like Bill Skarsgård's take on it, and it looks like a good modern version of it, but I much prefer the old one. And for all you Saw fans out there, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but Saw 11 has been delayed to August 23rd of this year, or maybe even next year. I don't even know. Pretty much it's just being delayed. Sorry to hear about that. Now, for me, this next one, this was a little shocking because I didn't know how far into production they were even in, but the Jon Snow spin-off series that was going to be done by people like the people that did Game of Thrones is sadly officially canceled. Kit Harington went on to say, "We all couldn't find that story to tell. We were all excited about it enough." And that's good to know that Jon Snow's team and actual Jon Snow himself, that they were actually passionate about this show. And I like Jon Snow a lot. He was a great character. I didn't necessarily see the need for a spinoff show. I feel like the whole show is surrounded around Jon Snow. I know a lot of people were in that show, I feel like Jon Snow is kind of our go-to main character, but you know, it was still going to be cool to see. And yeah, on the other hand, the future of the MonsterVerse is just looking stellar right now. It's been stated that the MonsterVerse, which is the Godzilla, King Kong stuff, is going to be pretty much soaring up from here. Quoted by legendary executive Mari Parent, "These are the early days, but we are certainly feeling good. And personally, I'm excited. I don't care how many movies they make, I'll probably watch them. Will I probably go see them all in the theaters? Probably not, but I'm going to watch them. I mean, how can you not? Big monkey, big lizard, fight big monster. It's just mindless fun, dude. And also, we also did get a Furiosa update. I think we got even a new look or like a little teaser or something a few days ago, but the movie is set and ready to go. We also got a little bit more insight into the movie, as the movie for Furiosa takes place over the course of 2 decades. And I'm a big fan of Furiosa. I thought Charlize Theron did such a great character, and I'm very excited to see Anya Taylor-Joy take on the role. Also, we even got a little bit of an update into George Miller's mind, as he has another Mad Max movie for Mad Max that takes place a year before Fury Road. So kind of like how we saw him in the beginning of the movie, he's got the beard and all these other different things, and he's in the car. That story before Fury Road. I would like to see it. I love the Mad Max verse. I like George Miller's take on it. I just love the action and the gritty feel. It's so good. Also being developed by Warner Brothers is a new movie called Yasuke, which is going to be about the first Black Samurai. Now, from what I remember, I think 3 years ago, Netflix did an animated series called Yasuke as well, based on the same story. And I haven't finished it. I started watching it and then I just got distracted with school and stuff. But I love the fact that Lakeith Stanfield was our main character, and I heard reviews kind of wavering, left and right. Some people say it was really, really bad and just not telling the full story correctly. And some people said it was, good because it was good writing, all these different great music and stuff like that. So I kind of heard left and right. I'm going to watch and finish the show and, and formulate my own opinion about this. But I'm actually super excited seeing a live action in, camera story about this character. With the Warner Brothers and Crunchyroll stuff wrapping up, I'm very sorry to get into a lot of the Crunchyroll news. There's a ton out there. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'll try and post some more on our stories on Instagram. But then we go into Wednesday, which had possibly the most number of production companies releasing a lot of stuff at once. So Wednesday covered the Lionsgate, DreamWorks, Universal, and Focus Features productions updates. Kicking it off with one that I just did not see coming was a live-action Monopoly movie produced by Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie at the same time is also producing a Sims movie. And I'm telling you right now, for the Sims movie at least, if the whole movie is not done in Simlish with captions, I'm not watching it. Now, a Monopoly movie produced by Margot Robbie sounds like a fun movie. I have zero clue what it's going to be like. I hope it's something about, I don't know, like the Pop-Tarts movie with Jerry Seinfeld going on about the creation of Pop-Tarts. That's very fun and whimsical-ish, but I have zero clue how this is going to look out. But I have faith. We were also given a new look into the ballerina John Wick spinoff movie with Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas came out and talked a little bit more about the movie, and that Keanu Reeves is going to be making a cameo as John Wick, as this movie is setting place between John Wick Chapter 3 and 4. Ana de Armas is leading this movie as the ballerina herself. I have zero clue as to what other information is put out there. All I know is that it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be done very, very well. That's at least what we were told. They were also showing new footage for the Borderlands movie and this new Strangers movie. Both of them, I have different opinions on. The Strangers, I'm not big into horror, especially intruders horror. I just can't. I get so anxious the entire time. I would pass out. And for Borderlands, with video game adaptations kind of being hit or miss recently, with Halo being so far out there and the new Fallout series being absolutely incredible, I feel like this movie the Borderlands movie is going to be, I like I said, hit or miss. But I, of course, love Jack Black as Claptrap. The cast looks great. I think it's a pretty good cast comparing from the video games look to this look. It looks very similar. But I'm not the biggest Borderlands fan, so maybe I'm not that excited for that reason. And I heard some positive things that it looks very similar to the actual environments of the game. But I mean, I don't feel anything right now. I hope to feel something soon about this movie. I like the cast, and I think it's a very interesting game. I played it, I think, once or twice, and I had fun. But I just hope that translates into the same feel of the movie. And to me, this is where we kind of get a bit of a turn here. The Michael Jackson biopic movie was shown a trailer, even though it is halfway through. Now, this isn't anything new. The Batman did this, and a ton of other movies have done this when they've only shot half the movie. But the fact is that the Michael Jackson movie was met with tons of positive reviews. It's said that the movie will include 30 plus songs and is going to be releasing April 18th. The fact is that we're getting 30 plus songs, and I believe one of them is going to be off the wall, both album and song, and that's my favorite album, and that's one of my favorite songs of it, so I hope that is really done well. We also got a update for the Highlander reboot movie with Henry Cavill, and he went out on to say that if you thought that me doing swords were cool with The Witcher and stuff like that, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. I'm super excited to see Henry Cavill do a Highlander reboot. I like the Highlander movie. It's a fun rewatch for me and my dad to do, but I think him doing this kind of movie is a lot of fun. It's him breaking away from superhero roles. It's him doing something that is just super fun. I'm super excited to see about what the sword skills are going to be presented through Henry Cavill. And I just like Henry Cavill, so I'm super excited about this movie. And please forgive me if I get this last name wrong. I'm a professional last name wronger. But Alexandre Aja's Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry, will be released on September 27th in theaters. And the film follows a family during a post-apocalyptic future, but one child begins to think that the apocalypse isn't real. Now, I like post-apocalyptic stuff. I like things that are like, hey, maybe all of this is a lie kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff. And I like Halle Berry. So I feel like this is just going to be a recipe for a great, great movie. And I also forgot to mention, I don't know if this is either Wednesday or Tuesday, so I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or DreamWorks or the Lionsgate, whatever. But M. Night has a new movie coming out and it's going into production. People have said it's pretty good, but you know, it's 50-50. For all you musical fans out there, we got a good look into Wicked. We also got some new news about it, how the story's going to go. And we had, I think, Ariana Grande come out and Michelle Yeoh come out and talk about this movie and what it was like on set and everything. And we even found out that Michelle Yeoh will sing. I have no doubt in my mind that Michelle Yeoh will be getting an Oscar for her singing. That's happening. This woman can do no wrong. She will be given an Oscar for her singing. End of story. There you go. They also were given a Nosferatu teaser and a bit of an inside look into what's going on. I think it was Willem Dafoe that came to speak out. Nosferatu is in my top 10 most anticipated movies for this year. I am so very excited about this. And if you guys haven't figured out what my top 10 are, go check out our top 10 episode we posted not too long ago. It was episode 2, I think, of season 3. So go check it out now. And to finally end the chapter on this, FNAF 2 will be getting a release of fall of 2025. So for all you FNAF fans, you're welcome. I didn't think it was all that great. I didn't think it was terrible, but I was expecting a little more horror for this kind of movie. I felt like it's just fine. I want to get that scary feeling I got from the game. I remember playing it in class, and just threw my laptop off the desk, which was not fun because I got in trouble, but it was still, it was a fun game. And the final leg of it all was Thursday, the Disney and Paramount one. Now, to me, this was the most exciting day because it had a lot of interesting information coming out about different movies that are coming out, and there's no better way than just getting into it. Kicking it off with, to me, the most shocking of them all, an R-rated live action The Last Ronin movie is in the works. Oh my God. I mean, of all things, I was going to be thinking that goes into live action, let alone just into production, TMNT wise. I never would have thought The Last Ronin would have been made into a movie. I felt like they were going to stick with the game and the comic book series, but my word, TMNT fans are just coming up, dude. I genuinely cannot wait for this. Transformers 1 is getting its official release in September. By the time you guys are probably watching this episode, the trailer will be out, which is going to be April 19th, and so will our review. With a star-studded cast of Brian Tyree Henry, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, I think John Hamm, and Keegan-Michael Key, this movie is going to be awesome. It's going to be an animated Transformers adventure movie taking place on Cybertron. And frankly, I love it. 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 I cannot wait for this movie. Speaking of Transformers, we're also be getting the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie. For those wondering, oh, they're making stuff up again. Nope. It's an old comic book. I never read it, but I heard it was pretty good. So if you guys ever watched Rise of the Beast, then you have that little teaser at the end of the movie with the Joes joining the Transformers. And frankly, I hope we get that Snake Eyes. I don't think it was Megatron, but I know he murks someone in that comic book series. So either way, I'm super excited for this, and I'm looking forward to all the new Transformers news. We were also given this new bit of information that Scary Movie, the old amazing satire horror movies, are given another chapter for release. That's right, we got a new Scary Movie coming out, and I am so excited. I liked the first one so much. The other ones were, fine. They were not as good as the first one. I know they're very, very 2000s. It's a very, very dated movie. But I hope this new one is done with respect to the old ones and is still just as funny. We also got a ton of Gladiator 2 news, ranging from the, different footage that we got to different cast member news. It's insane. Starting off with the cast, we have Denzel Washington joining the cast of Gladiator 2 as some person in the movie that's going to be like a manipulator of the games. We also have Pedro Pascal playing a Roman general who is forced to become a gladiator after he wanted to stop sending men to war. Joseph Quinn is the new emperor, and Paul Mescal plays a nobleman who has renounced his privilege and is inspired by Maximus. Maximus, as you guys know, is our main character from the first Gladiator movie, and this Gladiator movie is taking roughly 20 years after the first movie. It's also been stated that Pedro and Paul will be facing off in the arena, so I'm looking forward to this movie even more. I was a little skeptical because the first Gladiator movie is so good, but it feels like this is going in a better direction than what I thought. Going back to sci-fi for a little bit, we also got updates for the new Star Trek movie. Now, this movie is announced to be taking place before the 2009 movie that we saw with Chris Pine and everything. I don't know how far back, but all we know is that it's going to be taking place before the 2009 film. Toby Haynes, who just recently did Andor, and Seth Grahame-Smith, who wrote Dark Shadows, the Lego Batman movie, and produced various movies over the last 10 years, will be helming the project. Now, I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan. Like I haven't watched all the shows and everything, but I do like its concept. I've seen the movies. I've enjoyed them. I'm super excited for this movie as always, but also because it's sci-fi, I can't help but not be excited. Now, this one for me truly was a shocking one because we've been given so much just Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff recently. As we've all know, there's going to be some new Avatar TV shows and movies coming out, but we recently just got an update for the movie coming out not that far from now. The new Avatar: The Last Airbender movie trilogy with Dave Bautista as the main villain will be an all-animated movie trilogy with the first one being titled Aang: The Last Airbender, coming out October 10th, 2025. Now, since this movie will be about the Avatar gang at a much older age, a lot of the cast has been recasted with much older actors. The only person that has not been recasted is our prince himself, Prince Zuko. Dante Basco is coming back to voice Zuko in this movie. Perfect. So perfect. I'm so glad they did not change that. If they did, that, I mean, would have just not been a good sign in my opinion. But like I said, we're going to be getting new voice actors for each members, starting off with Toph. She will be voiced by Dion Kwan. I am very sorry if I'm getting that first name wrong, but she will be voicing her in the new movie. Now, Dion, I'm very sorry if I'm getting that name wrong, has actually been a voice actor for quite some time. You probably know her iconic voice as Trixie from The Fairly Odd Parents and Kimmy from the Rugrats. Also getting a new voice is Aang and Katara. Aang will be voiced by Eric Nam and Katara will be voiced by Jessica Matten. This new movie is coming out, like I said, in 2025. I am so very excited. We should be getting a trailer any month now. I hope it's tomorrow. Probably won't be, but I hope it's sometime soon. And for those wondering, yes, your prayers have been answered. Your outcries have been heard. It's just everything you have ever wanted has finally come true. As this new news is just beautiful. We're getting a new SpongeBob movie. That's right, baby. SpongeBob: The Search for SquarePants is coming to theaters. These things just keep coming out because they make billions at the box office. Okay, I don't know if they've been making billions, but apparently they're making a new one, so there's that. At the same time, they're also making a new Smurfs movie, and Smile 2 is coming to theaters again. I'm trying to just get through all this information here. So Smurfs and Smile, they go together for this. Smile 2 is going to be getting Parker Finn back as director. I never saw Smile. I'm not going to watch it. It's too scary. I don't care. I don't like it. The last bit of information is going to be pretty quick, so bear with me here. We have new Sonic 3 news as it is officially wrapped, and it showcased in CinemaCon a fight between Shadow and Tails, as well as Knuckles fighting Shadow, and Shadow having his own motorbike in like they did in the game. Also, we're going to be getting the real Eggman. Dr. Eggman has let himself go, so he's going to be getting his more rounded shape, as we iconically know as the Doctor to be. South Park creators and Kendrick Lamar are working on a new musical together, and the biggest bit of it all, the Superman logo was officially announced. This is what it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's I mean, it's probably going to be like this in the movie, probably not as, shiny as you're seeing it now, but this is the official look into the movie. I'm so excited. I need this movie to be out today. I need Superman, man. And in case you guys haven't known, Superman Legacy is just titled to Superman. I think that's even better. Now getting on to the big old, not saying that one, Disney. We're getting into Disney news. First thing that was the obvious thing I want to talk about is the new Deadpool and Wolverine footage. CinemaCon was given a bit of a PSA about turning off their phones during this thing while they could take pictures. I believe this was just something funny to kind of set the tone for Deadpool 3. It starts off with Deadpool walking with Wade and saying, "Hey, I heard in Secret Wars they're going to introduce," to then being interrupted, and Wolverine going to the camera, breaking the fourth wall and saying, "Hey, turn off your phone. Turn off your phone. You're in a movie theater." Just giving it all so perfectly. And with that being said, in the little PSA, Deadpool was kind of off screen reacting to Wolverine cursing. I'm gonna let you figure that out. Which then they were opening up everything to the panel with a new Disney sizzle reel with Brave New World, the new Captain America movie, being the first iconic shot of it. We were also given a timeline release for the rest of 2024, as you can see here, ranging from the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie coming out May 10th and ending with December 20th release Mufasa, The Lion King. There was a lot of different news and showing the different banner for Disney, like you can see here with Deadpool front and center. They went into a bunch of different news and their different IPs and showcasing all the different news that they have coming out for these IPs. They said that the biggest IPs that they have are the ones that they are putting the most kind of effort into. They're making the biggest stories. So Star Wars got to get some traction back. I feel like a lot of people have jumped off the Star Wars train since the last movie that came out wasn't that great, and some of the shows have been hit or miss, so they need to really work on that. They're focusing on Avatar and, of course, Marvel. One of the bigger things, besides Deadpool 3 making the no cocaine joke, because Kevin Feige said it was off limits, was that we got a Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts update. The biggest thing for me before these movies is that they are both being shot in IMAX for IMAX. It is all IMAX for these movies. And yes, they even acknowledge the asterisk for the Thunderbolts movie title. They are not going to acknowledge or even talk about it until after its release, which means it's probably going to get a different title. Now, would I want a different title besides Thunderbolts? Yes and no. I like the Thunderbolts, and I think it'd be cool, but leading into the Dark Avengers for something I'm going to say just a little bit would make sense. Not much was saying for the Fantastic Four other than that the filming for this movie is going to be starting soon in London, I believe, so there's that. Getting some good news, but the fact that these movies were going to be made for IMAX and that they said they want these movies to feel like events again as they are events is such a good thing for me, because like everyone has been saying on the internet in outcry, Marvel's fading off, Marvel's whatever. I'm sick of it. It is a new type of Marvel we are dealing with now. All of the people we grew up watching are gone. This is kind of how it has to work. We have to expand this cinematic universe. And I feel like just immediately hopping off and on this train of saying, oh, Marvel sucks, Marvel's great, Marvel sucks, Marvel's great, it pisses me off. I'm not saying you have to like everything. I'm not saying that. I don't like everything that Marvel's put out in the last few years. But that doesn't mean, in my opinion, that it's falling off. They're figuring out where they stand now without the iconic characters. Because now they have to create different iconic characters. Not better, but different. Because now we have Captain America being Sam Wilson and not Steve Rogers. But the thing is, Sam Wilson is Captain America. And for people who are saying he's not Captain America, just stop. Just stop. He's Cap. And we have different people like Ironheart coming into the frame, and we have different stories, and we have different Spider-Man stories coming into the mix with Spider-Man 4 starting real soon. And we have new characters like the Fantastic Four introducing Shia LaBeouf's Silver Surfer, a very real Silver Surfer. And that's the fact that it's in a different dimension and a whole different thing doesn't mean we're not getting a Silver Surfer in our time. So I'm super excited to see what Marvel is doing for these movies. I genuinely cannot wait. We talked a little bit about it in our last episode about what Marvel needs to kind of do to get back to where they were, but I'm having faith. Speaking of Captain America, we also got a bit of information of Brave New World. We were given this iconic photo of Sam Wilson talking to President Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, played by Harrison Ford. And frankly, I'm glad that Anthony Mackie is getting his own movie. Falcon as Captain America deserved its own movie. It didn't just need the TV show. The TV show was fine, but I'm really glad that Anthony Mackie is getting the chance to be Captain America in a Captain America movie. And he even said it's more grounded and gritty, comparing it to very similar to Winter Soldier, his first appearance. I love this idea that they're doing. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America, and I even heard that Bucky isn't even going to be in this movie, so it is all him. Back on to Deadpool 3 for a little bit. They said the Deadpool popcorn bucket will be very lewd and crude on purpose. They even said it will rival the Dune popcorn bucket. Now, in my opinion, I have no idea what that entails, but I got an idea of what that entails. So frankly, I'm both excited and nervous for what's going to be the Dune Pool popcorn bucket. And to wrap everything up, the first teaser for Moana 2 was released, showcasing Moana singing a song about returning to her home, and an alien Romulus footage was shown, kind of like a small sizzle reel with a little teaser in it, showcasing ton of gore, ton of violence, a chest burster, a face hugger, all the things I want to see in an alien movie. It seems like Disney is focusing on the correct things, focusing on better IPs like Avatar, Star Wars, and I also forgot to mention the Pixar movies and Frozen, and all these other different things that they have that they know grasps attention and creating good stories. I've always been a firm believer in that everything takes time and adjustments, and this has just been a long adjustment period. And I feel like things are starting to turn around for the better now. So I'm very excited to see Pixar coming back on top. I know I covered a lot, but I want to hear what you guys are excited about. Comment below what you guys are looking forward to, maybe what I missed or what you guys think should have been told at the CinemaCon. Let me know. I want to hear about it below. And that'll about wrap it up with everything. I'm very sorry if this is a little bit of an info dump and not necessarily conversation wise, as this thing was just heavy in news and footage that we're going to be covering throughout the rest of the year. So be sure you guys are sticking around, hitting the follow, subscribe, and everything. If you guys haven't checked out the rest of season 3, this has been such a fun season, starting off with the Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra breakdown that we did in episode 1 2 not too long ago, doing a canceled DC movies better comics argument, and even having an interview with Mav Made This. I had an interview with him not that long ago. So check out all our past episodes. We had so much fun this season. If you guys also haven't yet, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. We are posting a lot of great stuff there you guys don't want to miss. And I briefly mentioned that we are posting all our podcast episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so be sure you're following there in case you guys want to catch up on everything that's going on with season 3, season 2, and even season 1. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.